name is Shrinidhi and I'm going to be teaching today's lesson on expressions. So a variable is a symbol that is used to represent a quantity. It's a letter or other symbol that stands for a number. So let's do an example. What number does the square represent in the equation below? 40 plus square equals 48. 48 minus 40 gives us 8. So the square represents the 8. Now let's do some more problems where we have to figure out what number the square represents in each equation. So 9 plus square equals 16. 16 minus 9 is 7. Next, 35 minus square equals 20. 35 minus 20 equals 15. 80 plus 20 equals square. 80 plus 20 equals 100. 9 equals 31. So 31 plus 9 equals 40. Next, what number does n represent in each equation below? 30 plus n equals 130. So n will be 130 minus 30, which is 100. N plus 5 equals 35. So 35 minus 5 equals 30. N minus 3 equals 67. So 67 plus 3 equals 70. 100 minus n equals 40, so 100 minus 40 equals 60. Now we'll work on evaluating expressions. So when we evaluate an expression that includes one or more variables, we have to replace each variable with a number. Then we have to find the value of the expression. We need to remember to use the correct order of operations while doing this. So for example, here we have to evaluate the expression below when m equals 5. We're given 24 minus m times 2. Since m equals 5, we replace the m in 24 minus m times 2 with 5. So 24 minus 5 times 2. Then we evaluate 24 minus 5 times 2. We have to follow PEMDAS, so the multiplication goes first. 5 times 2 is 10, and 24 minus 10 is 14. Now we have to evaluate each expression below when n equals 6. When n equals 6, the expression 13 plus n is equal to 13 plus 6. So 9 is 19. Number 10, 33 minus n, or 33 minus 6, is 27. N times 4, or 6 times 4, equals 24. And 2 times 4 plus n, or 8 plus n, which n is 6. So 8 plus 6 equals 14. Next, we have to evaluate each expression below when r equals 10. So when r equals 10, the expression r plus 216 is equal to 10 plus 216. This equals to 226. When r equals 10, the expression 152 plus 9 minus r is equal to 152 plus 9 minus 10, which is equal to 151. So when r equals 10, the expression 122 times r is equal to 122 times 10. One 22 times 10 equals 1,220. When r equals 10, the expression 7 times r plus 20 is equal to 7 times 10 plus 20, which is 7 times 30, or 210. Next, we have to evaluate 16 minus t when t equals 4. So when t equals 4, the expression 16 minus t is equal to 16 minus 4, which is 12. Now we have to evaluate 9 times a plus 3 for each value of a. So 9 times 9 plus 3. So 9 times 9 is 81, plus 3 is 84. When a equals 4, the expression 9 times a plus 3 is equal to 9 times 4 plus 3. 9 times 4 is 36, plus 3 is 39. When a equals 20, the expression 9 times a plus 3 is equal to 9 times 20 plus 3 equals 180 plus 3, which is 183. Next, we have to evaluate 300 minus k times 2 for each value of k. When k equals 25, the expression 300 minus k times 2 is equal to 300 minus 25 times 2. (300 minus 50 equals 250. Next, we have k equals 100, so we have to do 300 minus 100 times 2. So when k equals 100, the expression 300 minus k times 2 is equal to 300 minus 100 times 2. And 300 minus 200 equals 100. When k equals 60, the expression 300 minus k times 2 is equal to 300 minus 60 times 2. When this will be equal to 300 minus 120, which is 180. Next, we have to evaluate 3 times d plus 4 for each value of d. So for 23, when d equals 6, the expression 3 times d plus 4 is equal to 3 times 6 plus 4, which is 3 times 10, or 30. When d equals 10, so 3 times 10 plus 4. So 3 times 14 is 42. When d equals 17, the expression 3 times 17 plus 4 equals 3 times 21, which is 63. When you simplify an expression, you write it in a way that means the same thing but is easier to use. So below we have to simplify the expression. Y plus 20 minus 6. Adding 20 then subtracting 6 is the same as adding 20 minus 6 equals 14. So we have y plus 20 minus 6 equals y plus 14. Since we can't simplify this equation any further, this is our final version. Now we have to practice by simplifying each expression below. So we know that 9 plus 9 plus 9 plus 9 equals 4 times 9, and 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 equals 7 times 4. Now we have to simplify n plus n plus n plus n plus n plus n. So adding 6 n's is the same as multiplying 6 times n. So we can write n plus n plus n plus n plus n plus n as 6 times n. Now for 27, we know that 7 minus 7 equals 0 and 11 minus 11 equals 0. Now we have to simplify n minus n. So when you subtract a number from itself, you always get 0. So n minus n simplifies to 0. We know that 6 plus 5 minus 5 equals 6, and 9 plus 3 minus 3 equals 9. Now we have to simplify n plus 5 minus 5. Adding 5 and then subtracting 5 is the same thing as doing nothing. So n plus 5 minus 5 will simply simplify to n. Next, we know that 7 plus 4 minus 4 equals 7, and 8 plus 2 minus 2 equals 8. So we have to simplify 17 plus n minus n. Adding n and then subtracting n is the same thing as doing nothing. So 17 plus n minus n will simply simplify to 17. Next, we have to practice by simplifying each expression below. D plus 11 plus 14. Since 11 plus 14 equals 25, we have d plus 11 plus 14 as d plus 25. Next, we have 17 plus p plus 2. Because addition is associative and commutative, we can add the numbers in any order in an addition expression. So 17 plus p plus 2 is the same as p plus 17 plus 2. Since 17 plus 2 is 19, we have p plus 17 plus 2 equals p plus 19. Next, we have 13 minus 12 plus f. 13 minus 12 equals 1. So we have 13 minus 12 plus f is 1 plus f. Next, we have 5 plus k minus k. Adding k and then subtracting k is the same thing as doing nothing. So these will just cancel out. So it's just 5. Then we have j minus 20 plus 20. Subtracting 20 and then adding 20 once again is the same as doing nothing. These cancel out. So j minus 20 plus 20 just simplifies to j. We can use the associative and commutative properties of addition to rewrite the expression w plus 20 minus w. So we can rewrite it as 20 plus w minus w. Adding the w and then subtracting the w is the same thing as doing nothing. So w plus 20 minus w equals 20. Next, we have 13 plus g minus 13 minus g. So we start with 13 plus g. Subtracting 13 from this expression leaves us with g. Then subtracting g leaves us with 0. Next, we have 37. We start with t plus t. Subtracting 1t leaves us with t. And then adding 2 t's and subtracting 2 t's is the same as doing nothing. So this expression simplifies to t. Next, we will be practicing using the toothpick patterns below for problems 38 to 40. So you have to complete the table below with the number of toothpicks needed to make each number of squares. So for one square, it takes 4 toothpicks. For 2 squares, it takes 8 toothpicks. For 3 squares, it takes 12 toothpicks. So for every square in the diagram, we can see that Grog needs 4 toothpicks more. So we can multiply the number of squares by 4 to get the number of toothpicks. So this one will be 4 times 4, which is 16. This one will be 5 times 4, which is 20. This is 10 times 4, which is 40. And the last one is 100 times 4, or 400. Next, we have to circle the expression below that describes the number of toothpicks Grog needs to make a diagram of n squares. For every square in the diagram, Grog needs 4 toothpicks. So to make a pattern with n squares, Grog needs n times 4 toothpicks. How many toothpicks does Grog need to make the same pattern with 40 squares? So we can evaluate the expression we found in the previous problem for n equals 40. When n equals 40, the expression n times 4 is 40 times 4, which equals 160. Next, we have to use the toothpick pattern below for problems 41 to 43. We have to complete the table below with the number of toothpicks needed to make each number of squares. For 1 square, we have 4 toothpicks. For 2 squares, we need 7 toothpicks. For 3 squares, we need 10 toothpicks. For 4 squares, we will need we need to have 3 more toothpicks. So we could also think of Grog starting with 1 toothpick and adding 3 toothpicks for each square. So here, 1 plus 3 equals 4. Here, 1 plus 3 equals 1 plus 2 times 3, which equals 7. 1 plus 3 times 3 is 10. 1 plus 12 is 13. 1 plus 15 is 16. 1 plus 60 is 61, and 100 times 3 is 1 plus 300, equals 301. Next, we have to circle the expression below that describes the number of toothpicks Grog needs to make a diagram of n squares. So we can think of Grog starting with 1 toothpick and adding 3 toothpicks for each square. So if Grog wants to make a pattern with n squares, he will need 1 plus n times 3 toothpicks. How many toothpicks does Grog need to make the same pattern with 50 squares? So we can evaluate the expression we found in the previous problem for n equals 50. When n equals 50, the expression found in 1 plus n times 3 is 1 plus 50 times 3. And that equals 1 plus 150. Which is 151. Next, we have to complete the table below with the number of toothpicks needed to make each number of triangles. So one triangle takes 3 toothpicks, 2 triangles take 5 toothpicks, and 3 triangles take 7 toothpicks. Based on this pattern, we can see that to make each additional triangle, he adds 2 more toothpicks. We can also think of Grog starting with 1 toothpick and adding 2 toothpicks for each triangle. So for the first one, it was 1 plus 2. For the second, it was 1 plus 2 times 2. Next, we have 1 plus 3 times 2. And then we have 1 plus 8, which is 9. And then we have 1 plus 10, which is 11. And then we have 2 times n plus 1. And then we have 1 plus 200, which is 201. Next, we have to use this toothpick pattern below for problem 45. Have to complete the table below with the number of toothpicks needed to make each number of pentagons. For one pentagon, it takes 5 toothpicks. For 2 pentagons, it takes 9 toothpicks. For 3 pentagons, it takes 13 toothpicks. And then for 4 pentagons, we have to figure out how many toothpicks it will take. So to make the first pentagon in the diagram, Grog needed 5 toothpicks. To make each additional pentagon, he needed to add 4 more toothpicks. We could also think of Grog starting with 1 toothpick and adding 4 toothpicks for each pentagon. So 1 plus 4 equals 5. 1 plus 2 times 4 . 1 plus 3 times 4 gives us 13. 1 plus 16, 17. 1 plus 20 is 21. N times 4 plus 1. So n times 4 plus 1. And then last one is 1 plus 400, or 401. Expressions in geometry. So for this example, we have to write an expression for the perimeter of an equilateral triangle with side lengths of t. Since the triangle is equilateral, we know that the length of each side is t, so the perimeter will be 3 times t. 46, we have to write an expression for the perimeter of a square with a side length of s. The four sides of a square are the same length. So to find the perimeter of a square, we have to add the side length 4 times. So the perimeter of a square with side lengths of s is 4 times s. Next, we have to write an expression for the perimeter of a regular hexagon with the side length of h. The 6 sides of a regular hexagon are all the same length. To find the perimeter of a regular hexagon, we have to add the side length 6 times. So the perimeter of a regular hexagon with side lengths of h can be simplified to 6 times h. Next, we have to write an expression for the area of a square with side length of s. So a square is a special type of rectangle. To find the area of any rectangle, we have to multiply its height by its width. The side length of a square is both its height and its width. So an expression for the area of a square with a side length s is s times s. (49) Write an expression for the area of a rectangle with height 5 and width w. To find the area of a rectangle, we can multiply its height by its width. So an expression for the area of a rectangle with height 5 and width w is 5 times w. Next, we have to write an expression for the area of a rectangle with height h and width w. To find the area of a rectangle, we can multiply its height by its width. So an expression for the area of a rectangle with height h and width w is width times height. Next, we have 51. The perimeter of a polygon is the sum of the lengths of all of its sides. So the perimeter of a rectangle with the height of h and width of 20 is h plus 20 plus h plus 20, which is equal to h plus 40. Next, we have to write an expression for the perimeter of a rectangle with height h and width w. To find the perimeter of a rectangle, we have to add the lengths of its sides. So the perimeter of a rectangle with a height of h and a width of w is h plus w plus w. Since addition is cumulative, you may have added the 2 h's and the 2 w's in any order. You may have also written this as 2 times h plus 2 times w, and 2 times w plus 2 times h plus 2 plus w times 2, or w times 2 plus h times 2. Next, we have to find the value of each variable below. So 2 times a equals 18. 18 divided by 2 is 9. 6 plus b equals 12. 12 minus 6 is 6. D equals 2 plus 3 times 2. So that's 2 plus 6, or 8. So D is 8. And e times 9 equals 45. 45 divided by 9 is 5. 27 equals 9 times h. H equals 3. 40 equals 57 minus m. 57 minus 40 is 17. So m equals 17. 80 equals 93 minus o. So 93 minus 80 is 13. 4 times r equals 28. 28 divided by 4 is 7. 70 equals s times 7. 70 divided by 7 is 10. 7 equals t minus 15. So 7 plus 15 equals 22. so t equals 22. 2 times 10 minus w equals 19. 2 times 10 equals 20, so 2 times 10 minus w equals 20 minus w, and 20 minus 1 is 19, so w equals 1. 68 plus z equals 79. 79 minus 68 is 11. So 1 was w, 3 was h, 5 was e, 7 was r, 5 was e, 8 was d, 13 was o, 17 was m, 9 was a, 22 was t, 3 was h, 6 was b, 5 was e, 9 was a, 10 was s, 22 is t, 10 was s, 5 was e, 9 was a, and 22 was t. So that spells out, where do math beasts eat? This is one way to check our answers. Calamitous Claude has encoded the answer to his riddle below. Be careful, he used a different code for the letters on this page. Solve each equation and then fill in the blanks with the correct letter to reveal the answer to the riddle. You might not use every letter. Okay, 90 minus a equals 79. 90 minus 79 is 11, so a equals 11. 5 times 5 minus 2 equals b, so 25 minus 2 is 23. D plus 3 equals 20. 20 minus 3 is 17. 36 minus e equals 24. 36 minus 24 is 12. G minus 12 equals 4. G equals 16. 70 is 150 minus I equals 130. 150 minus 130 is 20. 5 times g equals 20. 20 divided by 5 is 4. 11 times L equals 22. 22 divided by 11 is 2. 100 equals m times 20. M equals 5. N plus 50 equals 75. N equals 25. 2 times 9 plus 6 equals S. 2 times 9 is 18, plus 6 is 24, so S equals 24. And T plus 4 equals 22. 22 minus 4 is 18, so T equals 18. So 11 was A, 18 was T, 11 was A, 18 was T, 20 was I, 5 was M, 12 was E, 24 was S, 18 was T, 11 was A, 23 was B, 2 was L, 12 was E. So we encoded the riddle using our answers to these problems, and we got add a times table, which is used to check our answers, so we know that we did it correctly. Next, we're going to be doing region sums. So in the diagrams below, the number in a region is the sum of the numbers in the hexagons that surround it. So we have to find the value of n in the diagram shown. First, we use the region with the sum of 16 to write the equation 2 plus 6 plus 3 plus blank equals 16. We can simplify the equation by adding 2 plus 6 plus 3. This gives us 11 plus blank equals 16. Since 11 plus 5 equals 16, we place a 5 in the blank hexagon. Then we can use the region with the sum of 17 to write the equation 3 plus 5 plus n equals 17. We simplify the left side by adding 3 plus 5. This gives us 8 plus n equals 17. Since 8 plus 9 equals 17, the value of n is 9. Then we replace n with 9 and check our work. So now we have to find the value of the variable in each diagram below. So first we have to use the region with the sum of 18 to write an equation. 6 plus 2 plus 4 plus blank equals 18. We can simplify this expression by adding 6 plus 2 plus 4, which is 12. So 12 plus blank equals 18. So 18 minus 12 is 6. So A equals 6. Next, we have to use the region with the sum of 13 to write an equation. 6 plus 4 plus A equals 13. We can simplify this expression by adding 6 plus 4. So that's 10 plus A equals 13. So A equals 3. Okay. So for 78, first we have to use the region with the sum of 12 to write an equation. 6 plus 2 plus blank equals 12. So we simplify the expression on the left by adding 6 plus 2. This gives us 8 plus blank equals 12. So 12 minus 8 equals 4. Next, we have to use the region with the sum of 19 to write another equation. 6 plus 4 plus blank equals 19. So we simplify the expression on the left by adding 6 plus 4. 6 plus 4 equals 10, and 10 plus blank equals 19. 19 minus 10 equals 9. Then we have to use the region with the sum of 23 to write the final equation. 2 plus 4 plus 9 plus x equals 23. So we can simplify this expression on the left by adding 2 plus 4 plus 9. This gives us 15 plus x equals 23. Since 15 plus 8 equals 23, x equals 8. First, we have to use the region with the sum of 18 to write an equation. So 5 plus 9 plus blank equals 18. We simplify the expression on the left by adding 5 plus 9. That's 14 plus blank equals 18. 18 minus 14 is 4, so we place 4 in the center hexagon. Then we have to write our second equation. 4 plus 5 plus blank equals 13. So 4 plus 5 is 9, plus blank equals 13. 13 minus 9 is 4, so 4 will go in this hexagon. Next, we have to use the region with the sum of 22 to write an equation of 4 plus 4 plus 9 plus d equals 22. So 17 plus d equals 22. 22 minus 17 is 5, so d equals 5. Next, for 80, first we have to use the region with the sum of 11 to write the equation 6 plus 2 plus blank equals 11. So we can simplify this expression by doing 8 plus blank equals 11. 11 minus 8 equals 3. So 3 will go in the top right hexagon. Then we have to use the region with the sum of 15 to write the equation of 3 plus 6 plus blank equals 15. So 9 plus blank equals 15. 15 minus 9 is 6. Then we have to use the region with the sum of 14 to write the equation. 6 plus 6 plus h equals 14. So h equals 2. First, for 81, we have to use the region with the sum of 16 to write the equation 7 plus 4 plus blank equals 16. 7 plus 4 is 11 plus blank equals 16. So blank is 5. We place 5 in the bottom left. Next, we have to use the region with the sum of 15 to write the equation 5 plus 7 plus blank equals 15. So 5 plus 7 is 12. 15 minus 12 would be 3. So 3 will go in this bottom center hexagon. And then we have to write one more equation with the region for a sum of 21. So 3 plus 7 plus 3 plus c equals 21. This gives us 13 plus c equals 21. So c would be 8. Lastly, we have 82. So here we have to use the region with the sum of 35 to write the equation. 14 plus 3 plus blank equals 35. So we can simplify to 17 plus blank equals 35. 35 minus 17 equals 18. Next, we have to use the region with the sum of 22 to write an equation. 14 plus 3 plus blank equals 22. So 14 plus 3 is 17. 22 minus 17 is 5. So we place a 5 in this bottom hexagon. Now we have to use one equation with the region with the sum of 26 to do 5 plus 14 plus blank equals 26. This is simply 19 plus blank equals 26. So since 19 plus 7 equals 26, we'll place 7 in this left hexagon. Finally, we use the region with the sum of f to write the equation. 7 plus 14 plus 18 equals f. We can simplify the expression on the left by adding 7 plus 14 plus 18. So this gives us 39 equals f. So f will be 39. That's all we have for today's lesson. Thank you for watching.